Hi, welcome to Career Cruise by Networking in Hills. My name is Violet Ndukwambwa. I'm the founder of Networking in Hills, and I'm glad you're here with me today. At Career Cruise, we discuss all things career, all things jobs, all things vocation, and your life path in terms of the work that you do, whether you're a self-employed person, or you're employed, or you're a student, or you're in between. So today we'll talk about accountability, that big word, A for accountability. Now, being accountable means that you're able to stand with your decisions, you're able to give an account of what you've done, whether at work, at home, in your relationships, in your friendships, wherever you are, that you're able to give an account of what you've done and be able to, be judged according to your actions or outcomes thereof. Now, taking accountability is very difficult. It doesn't come easy. For those who are Bible readers or Christians or churchgoers, you heard the story of Cain and Abel. And you know very well that, Cain literally unalived his brother. And when he was asked about it, he didn't take accountability for it, We'll also go back a little bit to their parents. When Adam was asked, "Where are you? What has happened?" And he was quickly to shift blame. So he didn't own the decisions that he'd made. He didn't stand with his decisions. And, that just shows lack of accountability right from the creation of mankind. So it's not a new thing. It's sort of like a knee-jerk reaction to not take accountability and to quickly jump to letter B, which is blame shift, that this has happened, but it's not me, it's that person. It's not me, it's the weather. It's not me, it's, lightning and thunder. Taking accountability in terms of our work, in terms of our decisions, in terms of our outcomes, whether at school, whatever we are, is very important. We discussed in the previous episode about discipline and having high integrity and, also just employing or rather expressing a good work ethic. These things are the ones that, spill over into whether we're able to take accountability or not. So I learned a hard lesson about taking accountability. So must have been like over 10 years ago. So I was working, actually 2 lessons. So I was working, or rather 2 incidences that all went into accountability. So I was working at a film production company and, I was their social media manager. And I remember, I'm working, social media is new and, we still, the term social media manager, that role still new, we're still trying to figure out what do I do as a social media manager. So I love being on Facebook. I love being on what we call now X, which was Twitter, and Instagram hadn't come. So those are the 2, and in YouTube as well. So of course you work and you're putting out the content that has been filmed, you're putting out teasers that have been produced by other people, and it's all good. And you're engaging the community, taking the comments and the questions very seriously, giving them to management and telling them, hey, this is what the fans are saying, what can we do? Do they have an answer for this? It was a fun job. I enjoyed my work. I generally do enjoy anything that I do, which I'm really grateful for. So at some point, I remember there was a lot of work and I hadn't finished my work. Again, integrity. Again, work ethic. Again, discipline. Why hadn't I finished my work is because, being a social media manager, nobody really knows what you're supposed to be doing. They just know the outcome that they expect. So the in-between here, I found myself, watching a movie on YouTube or something. And that's eaten an hour of time that I should have been working. So, there's no really any good reason for me to be in the office past 6 p.m. Everybody went home. What am I still doing there? I wasted time during the day watching a movie. And, that spills over into my work day. And I get to say, I'm working late. But really, it was my fault. And I'm speaking about myself, not other people who work late because they really actually have work to do. So that was my lack of discipline and my lack of, integrity and a proper work ethic. And so I remember one time I was meant to give a report and I lied that, this was not possible because there's a blackout. And can you imagine the embarrassment when security says, hey, no, there's no blackout here. Yeah, we were here the whole night. There's no egg on my face. So I apologized, and then it was just a bad situation. And so, of course, now by this time, my manager has given me another look, another eye. She's seen me in a different light. And I know that I can't get that light off of me. So yeah, I went back into the usual, work hard, deliver, But still, the dent had been created in our relationship because I lied to them outrightly about there being a blackout when there was none. So I had to take accountability for that. And I didn't apologize in the moment, but I did apologize later. It was very shameful. But I did, and I just told them, hey, this is what had been happening, and yeah, I'm sorry about that, etc. But I guess it helped that by then, now I had really caught up and done more than what I was meant to have done. But, still, we don't have to get it. You don't have to let it to get to that point. Like, please just do what you said you'll do. So then when you're being called to give an account, you're confident, you're confident with yourself that, this is what I did. And if there's anything else to have been done, then it wasn't in the description, or maybe it was outside my scope, which is okay. It happens. So towards the end of that contract, because I worked there for almost a year, the contract was like 9 months, which is okay. They then, the neighbor decided to sort of like poach me, like, hey, don't leave yet. We know you've been doing a good job here. Why don't you come and work for us on this other side? And again, just separating things and being accountable. I didn't hand over like properly, or rather give my reports or hand over properly from this first employer. So when I was going to the second employer, again, it's all film related, TV related. And I remember I was meant now to create another community and grow an audience like I had grown for the other people, which is okay, and I knew how to do it. But I thought, I have a shortcut. Let me do this easy peasy. So do you know what Violet did? I went and changed the name. So we have on social media now, we have the names of the company, rather the brand, and change it from brand Z to brand P. So then we still continue. And my gosh, so I had to I got a thorough scolding, and I, of course, know how to change over and hand over. And it was terrible. So just that lack of insight that, this belongs here. This is a property of, these people here, and you don't get to move with that property to your next employer. Whatever you found here, leave it there. No matter how hard you work to make it grow, that's what you are hired for. So you don't be entitled. The only entitlement you have is that I grew this from 0 to 40,000. That's your work, so you can shine with that. But don't carry the 40,000 into your new space, because that's not their stuff. Go and grow the other stuff in that office. So I went into this office, and of course now I had to start from 0. So I couldn't just rebrand the other guys' work. And I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, did I think they wouldn't notice? And just sometimes we're just when you're trying to do shortcuts, you really don't think through things nicely. So yeah, children, don't do any shortcuts. People, don't do any shortcuts. Just do your things in a straight path. So I moved on to the other employer, and all was going well. And things are going well. I was enjoying my work. It's a new dispensation altogether, new expectations, and the work is more refined. So, I felt like I'm really getting into a good groove. Now, this is now the part which I'll never ever forget. My work was to deliver, because you're doing TV, it was a TV series. So my work was to deliver. Back then, we weren't just sending episodes via email or whatever. We deliver a CD physically to our broadcasting company. So after everything has been done, now me as a social media manager, my work also to carry the CD physically and take it to whether it's KBC or KTN or ITV, whatever, but carry it to the broadcaster. And and that was not the only show. My show, the one that I was in charge of, wasn't the only one that was happening. There are other shows that are being filmed there. So, and everybody was just doing their thing. And so I remember one time, so this is the thing with me. I volunteer, I'm like, oh, you're going that direction. It's okay. I'm going there. I can go for you. So I'm happy to help someone with an errand so that then I can save them whatever it is I wanted to do. So, I'm going to whatever office and you're also going there. So instead of taking 2 taxis, why don't you take one? Or instead of you coming along, just give me your work. I'll deliver for you as I deliver mine. So I kind of naively thought that that would be the arrangement, or rather because I'm offering that's what I'll get in return. The lie. So anyway, one time someone was going to deliver their show and I was really, really tired and swamped and there was a lot of work on my plate. And it's not because I watched a movie or anything. There was genuinely a lot of work that day. So when they were leaving, I told them, hey, my CD is over there, kindly if you could take it for me. And looking back, I wouldn't even want to blame the person because again, that's what we're doing on this show. We're taking accountability. I looked back and the person was also tired. She was also swamped. She had so much to do. All of us were just extremely busy that season. I don't even know what was going on. Must have been just before elections or something. Yeah. So I don't know if she heard or she didn't hear, but whatever happened, I assumed she heard and I went on with my day. After that, I went home and I was like, let me rest now. And it was a Monday. So my show, the one that I was hired to promote, is coming on at 10 p.m. and the screens are blank on national TV. And that's a slot that the company has paid for good money. And so my boss is calling me. I'm wondering, why am I getting a call from my boss at 10:15 p.m.? So I pick up and, Violet, why is the show not on? I'm like, I don't know. So of course, I also go to look and I realize, it's not on. And I quickly put the dots together and I realized what had happened. And obviously in the moment I'm like, oh no, it was Sharon who's meant to take for me the CD. So she didn't take. Of course, I'm running away from taking the blame for the show not being on TV. But really, Sharon has her own show that she handles and I have this one. So it's on me. So it was, I got an earful, on the phone, and obviously I didn't sleep well. So you can imagine the next day, I was the first one at the office, just waiting. And, it was chaos. It was quite a kerfuffle. And I explained myself. And this other person that had also now roped into blame also explained herself. But the long and short of it is that I needed to take accountability. It was I who needed to take the CD to the broadcaster for it to be shown. It was I who was charged with the work. The buck literally stopped with me. And it was a painful lesson. I got fired immediately on the spot. Imagine going to work and being the first one at the office. But by 9 a.m., even before the tea is served, you're clearing out your desk, you're handing over your logins, you're handing over everything. It was very embarrassing. It was humiliating. Everybody in the office knew what had happened. It was not even a rumor that, hey, Violet has been fired. Everybody knew that I was getting fired. Even the gatesman knew there was beef at the office. So it was a hard lesson on just being accountable. But I took it to heart in the sense that I had to make a promise to myself that I'm never ever going to shift blame to people. I definitely want to see what part, I'm playing in my own suffering, Sharon claimed she misheard me. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. I was fired, and it also doesn't matter because it was not her work, it was my work. Had I done favors for her in the past? Yes, I had done favors for her. Was I thinking, expecting, hoping that she'd also do the same for me? Yes. But that was naive, That was naive of me to expect someone else to take up for me because I took up for them. They didn't ask me, I offered, and I was hoping that they would, it wouldn't be a thing to think about for them, but that's what happened. So when things are just, I'm urging you just to take accountability for yourself, take accountability for your work, take accountability for your studies, take accountability for your own progression, when you join the gym, take accountability for your own process and your own progress. When you start a course, whether it's a 3-month course, whether it's a 1-year course, whether it's 4 years, take accountability for the process so that you can start and, go through it and, finish well for good outcomes. When you start any project, take accountability, and it's important to take accountability because it's not every time that things succeed. There's failure involved in life. That's part of, the world that we live in. Taking accountability will help you when you're faced with failure or things not going the way you wanted them to go. It will also help you to recalibrate and know where you're starting from. But when you start to shift blame and nothing is ever our fault, nothing is ever coming from us, it's always someone else, then you literally are really relieving yourself of any responsibility, and also you're relieving yourself of the role that is very important. You are in the driver's seat of your life. So if you're in the driver's seat, you take accountability. I braked too fast, I braked too slowly, this and all what happening, and you're able to drive your own life's narrative in the way that you want for the outcomes that you want. And so taking accountability is definitely bitter. It's not the easy thing to do, but it is an important thing to do. It will carry you from the start of your career, whatever role you decide to take up. It will carry you through your career. It will carry you to the end of your career, up to the time you retire. Yes, retirement. Retirement is important. So how you plan for that? When you're accountable, it carries you through the relationships you have with people, and it carries you through teamwork. It carries you through solo work. It carries you through decisions about change, about advancement, about expansion, and even about shrinking, because sometimes, depending on how the economies have gone or how the markets are changing, sometimes people need to shrink their business a little bit so that then they can still survive and then, expand another time. But when you're not accountable, you literally are leaving yourself at the mercies of the elements, so to speak, whether it rains or shines, you're not accountable. So you just say, oh, it rained, oh, it whatever, the weather changed. Like, at what point are you actively accountable? At what point are you actively taking charge of your own narrative? So, and an accountable person is literally a very attractive person to work with or to be around, because then they're able to just say, hey, this happened because of this, that, and the other, and this was my part in it, and this is how I think I can do differently for a better outcome. So being accountable will make you dependable, will make you reliable, will make you first choice for very many people to do anything with. Any project that we're doing, you want to do it with an accountable person, so that when a mistake happens or something unexpected happens, then they're not running away from the fray, but they're standing there and you're all fixing things together because they're willing to see, to be part of the process. And being accountable is a key component or a key element of, the process of life. Accountability is what makes us admit when there are mistakes. Accountability is what makes us see this is where we overstretched, or here we overpromised and under-delivered, or maybe we actually did under-promise but over-deliver. This is where we went outside of scope. You're a business owner, you know that sometimes you go outside your scope and it's not always rewarding, There are situations where you shouldn't really go out of your scope or over and beyond what your client is expecting. Just give them what they expect and, service with a smile, and that's it. Because then there are times when you do so much to please a client, but then you're bleeding the business, and you have to be accountable for that. You have to realize this is where I'm leaving money on the table as a business person, or this is where I am spending too much as a business person. Maybe this is where I need to cut costs as a business person. Maybe I need to add more hours in the library as a student. Maybe I need to come into work maybe an hour earlier or stay in an hour later as an employee or as a working person in different careers. So then you're able to just be accountable for your outputs, be accountable for the things that are expected of you. And that, when the reviews come, and sometimes they're not very favorable. I mean, even for business owners, the reviews are not always favorable. So instead of attacking the person reviewing you, And we hope that they're not being malicious. We hope that they're being objective. Instead of attacking the person reviewing you, you're able to sort of use that information, use that feedback to sort of change tack or improve or, remove what's not working. So I feel like that's what accountability is for. And here at Career Cruise, we definitely promote accountability. We promote people to take account and even just take stock of themselves, take stock of their lives, take stock of their careers, take stock of their businesses, take stock of everything you're involved with as an individual. And when you take stock, even of your relationships, your friendships, the people you're connected with, the associations you're part of, when you're taking stock and when you're being honest and when you're being accountable, then you're able to say, okay, this is working. I'm going to cultivate this more. I'm going to feed this more. This is not working. I'm going to either cut it off or starve it or reduce my participation in it or reduce my energy in it, because then, we can't go cutting off everyone or cutting off everything. So we just play with, shift this a little bit, put more energy here, reduce involvement here, like that. So then we go recalibrating our lives. And of course our work involvement, our business involvement, all to benefit us, to suit us, and all to a good end. So thank you for coming to Career Cruise. Tell me about the times that you had to take accountability. Tell me about the times when you saw someone not taking accountability. Share with me your stories. I'll be happy to share them with others on your behalf here on Career Cruise. And let's talk about accountability. Let's encourage others to take accountability. And just delete the B word from our dictionaries. Blame is the word that you're deleting. And embrace the A word, A for accountability. So I'll see you next time on Career Cruise. Take care of yourselves and stay accountable.